Hello everyone, this is BV Hiremut. Today I will going to discuss ray optics concepts, which first one is a spherical mirrors. What is meant by spherical mirror? A curved mirror formed by a part of a hollow glass sphere with a reflecting surface, which is called as spherical mirror. Nothing but it is a part of a hollow glass sphere and which should include one surface should be reflecting, which is called as spherical mirror. Like see, imagine this is a one complete hollow sphere, hollow glass. Imagine this is a hollow glass sphere here, in which if you consider a part of this mirror, the part of the hollow glass sphere, which is we can call it as spherical mirror, and which should include one surface should be reflecting here, one surface should be reflecting surface. This is what we can call it as spherical mirrors. There are two types of spherical mirrors. One is concave mirror, another one is convex mirror. One is a concave mirror, another one is concave mirror and convex mirror. There are two types of spherical mirrors are here, in which first one is concave mirror. Concave mirror is nothing but a mirror is a curved mirror with a reflecting surface on a hollow side, which is we can call it as concave mirror. Concave mirror is nothing but it is a curved mirror here. This is an example for concave mirror. A curved mirror with a reflecting surface on the hollow side. Here this is an hollow side, inner side we can call it as inner side or hollow side, and this is outer side. Here reflecting surface should be hollow side or inner side. That is such type of mirrors we can call it as concave mirror. Another one is convex mirror. This is an example for convex mirror. Here convex mirror is nothing but a convex mirror is a curved mirror with the reflecting surface on the outer side. See, this is, if you consider this is a mirror and this one is the inner side and this one is outer side. The reflecting surface should be outer side. Such type of mirrors we can call it as convex mirrors. Then again there are some definitions are here, in which first one is center of curvature. Center of curvature nothing but the center of curvature of a curved mirror is defined as the center of the hollow glass sphere of which the curved mirror was a part. Like this. If you consider one minute, if you consider a sphere, see, if you consider a sphere in which if a part of the mirror is taken, then this is what we can call it as a spherical mirror, and here the center of this sphere, that is what we can call it as center of curved surface or center of curvature, as like this. Again one more time I will explain the definition. The center of curvature of a curved mirror is defined as the center of hollow glass sphere of which curved mirror was a part. So that is what we can call it as center of curvature. Then what about the radius of curvature? See, again with the same example, if you consider this is a mirror, if you consider a hollow spherical mirror, then this is a part, a small part here, in which this is a center here, you can consider a center, and the distance from center of curvature to mirror, that is what we can call it as radius or radius of curvature. The third one is a principal axis. Principal axis is nothing but it is an imaginary line passing through its a pole P and center of curvature C. So first I will explain what is meant by pole, then I will come to principal axis. See, pole is nothing but the geometric center of the curved mirror we can call it as pole. If you consider this is a mirror, if you consider the mirror here, the geometric center, this is what we can call it as pole of the mirror. So here this is, if you consider this is a mirror, and the center of this mirror we can call it as pole. Geometric center of this mirror we can call it as pole. And the principal axis is nothing but imaginary line passing through pole P and center of curvature. See, this is the principal axis. The principal axis is nothing but the imaginary line which is passing from center of curvature to pole. This is what we can call it as principal axis. Then focus. What is meant by focus here? The focus is nothing but, also we can call it as principal focus. The principal focus is defined as the point on the principal axis where the light ray traveling parallel to the principal axis after reflection actually made. That is what we can call it as focus or principal focus. I will explain with the same diagram here. If you consider a concave mirror, then here these are the parallel rays. These are the rays which are incident on the mirror. Once they are incident, they reflect back to the same medium, and these are meet at a particular point. This point we can call it as principal focus. Here F, which is represented by F. The principal focus is nothing but, again one more time, principal focus is nothing but the point on the principal axis where light ray traveling parallel to the principal axis after reflection actually made. See, this is a point on the principal axis. This black line is we can consider as a principal axis, on which here this is one particular point on which these parallel rays after reflection they are meet at a single point. This point we can call it as principal focus. Next one is, it is about the concept of focal length. What is meant by focal length here? The focal length is nothing but it is a distance between the pole and the principal focus of a curved mirror, which is called as focal length. Let us consider here, this is a mirror, this is a mirror, and this is a the curved surface, center of this curved surface, this is a center of the curved surface, which is taken as C, and this is a principal focus. After reflection the points were meet at this point here, that is called as a principal focus, and this line is you can consider as a principal axis, which is represented here like this, and this is a harder surface and this surface is reflecting surface. This surface is reflecting surface. Then see, according to the definition of focal length, that is a distance between the pole and the principal focus. Here this is the pole, the distance between the pole and principal focus, this distance we can call it as focal length. Then focal length, and which is represented by small f. The principal focus is represented by capital F. And there is a relation here, that is a relation between the focal length and radius of curvature, that is equal to the focal length is half of the radius of curvature. Its expression can written as focal length is equal to half of radius of curvature. Now we need to show that how the focal length is equal to half of the radius of curvature. Like this, the focal length is equals to half of the radius of curvature. The question is like this: to show that F is equals to R by 2 for a concave mirror. This is a question. It is a 3-mark question, and so this which is explained for as follows. First we'll starts with the diagram. Here this is a diagrammatic representation. Let us consider a ray of light AB which is incident at a point B, and this ray AB, which is a parallel to the principal axis, this is what we can call it as a principal axis. Principal axis, again one more time I will explain. Principal axis is nothing but a line passing through a pole and the center of curvature. This imaginary line we can call it as a principal axis, and the ray AB, which is parallel to the principal axis here. And once the ray AB is incident on the mirror, that is reflected back to the same medium as a BD through the principal focus F. Then here there is a one more normal line BC. The BC be the normal line to the concave mirror at B. Here the angle of incidence is taken as a theta and angle of reflection is also considered as a theta. According to law of reflection, the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection, that is I equal to R, as we can consider as theta equal to theta, which is represented as follows. The angle ABC, that is equal to angle CBD. Angle ABC, that is equal to angle CBD. Both are equal, that is theta is equal to theta. This is according to law of reflection, that is angle I is equal to angle R. That angle of incidence I is equal to angle of reflection R. As we know that AB and PC are parallel to each other. AB, see here, AB and PC are the parallel lines, as I told you in the consideration section. See here, that's why the angle ABC is equal to angle BCP. Angle ABC is equal to angle BCP. They both are equal to theta, that is equal to theta here. And then according to diagram, again I will explain like this. Here the angle BCE is equal to what here? See, angle BCE. This is in the triangle BCE. In the triangle BCE, angle BCE is equal to theta. And in the triangle BFE, in this triangle angle BFE is equal to 2 theta. How means? See, if there are two parallel lines here, if you cut this like this, and the opposite angle should be equal. If it is here, if it is theta, 1 minute. See, so if these are the parallel lines, if a line passes like this, then this angle is equal to this angle. We can call it as opposite angles like this. Here this angle is equal to theta plus theta is equal to 2 theta here. Theta plus theta is equal to 2 theta. Hence this angle also is equal to 2 theta. This angle is also equal to 2 theta, which is taken. So angle ABD, angle ABD is equal to BFE. Both are equal to 2 theta. See, so like that. Now the tan theta is equal to what? In as it is in the theta in the triangle BCE and BFE. In triangle BCE, and this value is a theta, angle theta, then tan theta is equal to what? So we know that tan theta is equal to opposite divided by adjacent. Tan theta is equal to opposite divided by adjacent. Opposite is equal to BE and adjacent is equal to CE. Hence tan theta is equal to BE divided by CE. And In the triangle BFE, in the triangle BFE, tan 2 theta is equal to what? Tan 2 theta is equal to opposite divided by adjacent. Opposite is BE, adjacent is FE. Hence, tan 2 theta is equal to BE divided by FE. This is considered as equation number 1. For a small angle theta, which is true for parallaxal ray. So if the rays are parallaxal, if there is a small angle, then tan theta can be considered as a tan theta. Tan theta is considered as theta, and tan 2 theta is considered as 2 theta only. See, if the small angle in parallaxal ray, tan theta is considered as a theta, and tan 2 theta is considered as 2 theta. Hence the equation 1 becomes, here in the equation number 1, BE divided by FE. Here this is BE divided by FE is equal to, actually this is tan 2 theta, this is tan 2 theta. According to equation number 1, BE divided by FE is equal to tan 2 theta here. Like that, BE by FE is equal to, this should be tan 2 theta, but for a small angle, tan 2 theta is considered as only 2 theta. Hence, BE by FE is equal to, equation 2 here, BE by FE is equal to 2 theta. Tan 2 theta becomes 2 theta only. Hence, the BE divided by FE is equal to 2, as keep as it is. In place of theta, you need to write this value, theta value. So you need to write theta value, BE divided by CE. Hence this is, theta value is BE divided by CE. Then, so in the above equation, the BE and BE get cancelled here. See, BE get cancelled. The remaining terms are, so 1 by FE is equal to 2 BE by CE. Nothing but you can take it as FE is equals to CE divided by 2 here. So from this you will get FE is equal to CE divided by 2. This is equation number 2. Then now for a small theta, the point E is very closer to the point P. See, here the point E is very closer to the point P. Hence, we know the definitions. The distance from center of curvature to pole is called as radius of curvature. Because E is very near to P, hence CE also considered as a radius of curvature, which is represented here, which is represented as here. CE is also considered as a radius of curvature. And the distance from principal focus to pole, this is what we can call it as focal length. But E is very near to P, hence the distance from principal focus to E, which is also called it as focal length. FE is equal to small f. We can write like this also. Then finally, so the equation 2 becomes, equation 2 here, FE, F to E, the distance from F to E, which is called it as small f, that is equal to F, that is equal to CE divided by CE, andre that is a distance from center of curvature to E, that is take it as R divided by 2 as it is. Hence this is a relation between focal length and radius of curvature. That is, so I wrote here the distance between the center of curvature and the focal length, that is equals to radius of curvature and focal length is equal to F is equal to R divided by 2. See, this is F equal to R by 2, or R is equal to 2F. This is the relation between focal length and radius of curvature. Next concept is about the sign conventions for a spherical mirror. It's a very important. So this is one of the very important concept in optics here. Okay, there are some sign conventions are there here, in which first one is all the distances are measured from the pole and along the principal axis of the mirror. This is the first point in the sign conventions. All the distance are measured from the pole and along the principal axis, which is explained by a diagram like this. See, all the distance are measured from the pole. This point we can consider as a pole. So 1 minute, I'll write here. See, this is point pole. All distance should be measured from the pole. So we need to measure all the distance from the pole, and that should along with the principal axis. It may be the distance can measure like this, or the distance can measure like this. This is the first point. One more time, all the distances are measured from the pole of the mirror and along the principal axis. This is the first point. Then second point, the distances measured in the same direction of incident light are taken positive. See once again, the distances measured in the same direction of incident light are taken positive. See, so here the direction is shown here. This is the incident light, which is direction like this, that is from left to right. If the distance are measured along the direction of light, which is taken positive, you can take it as a positive. And in which second point, in the second point, that is that the measurement of all the distances are measured in the opposite direction of incident light are taken negative. The whatever distance you can measure, that is, if it is opposite to the direction of incident light, then you can take it as a negative sign like this. If the direction of the incident light is like this and your measurement is from pole and which is towards the left, from right to left, that is opposite to the direction of incident light, like this, the direction of incident like this, incident light is like this, and the measurement is opposite to the light. In such condition, you need to take negative sign. This is the second sign convention. Then third one is the heights measured upwards and perpendicular to the principal axis of the mirror are taken positive, and heights measured downwards and perpendicular to the principal axis of the mirror taken negative. See, the heights measure upwards. See, heights measure upwards and perpendicular to the principal axis. So this is the principal axis and this is perpendicular. If it is perpendicular and the measurement is upward from the principal axis, it is taken positive. If the measurement is downwards and perpendicular to the principal axis, then in such a condition you need to take negative sign. Once again, I will explain all three sign conventions here. All distance should be measured from the pole of the mirror and along the principal axis. First thing. Second one, if the distance measure, all the distance measure along the direction of incident light, like this, incident light is in this direction and the distance is also in the same direction, in such a condition you need to take a distance in positive. If the incident light is in this direction from left to right, but measurement is from right to left, nothing but if the direction of this measurement in the direction of incident light and our distance measured, if these two are opposite, in such a condition you need to take the value is negative. The third one is the height measure, the measurement of height that is in the along the upward direction, it is perpendicular to the principal axis, which is taken positive. Then height measured downwards and perpendicular to the principal axis, which is taken negative. And so these are the three sign conventions in the spherical mirrors. Thank you, friends.